running a red light, doing a right turn, now continuing on 114th Street. A lot of traffic building in the area. It's approaching rush hour now, but we're still kind of doing these circles in the area. And you can see there those right side windows, both the right side passenger and the rear passenger, they have their windows down, so they're just kind of enjoying this joyride, it seems, as we continue doing almost circles around the Watson South LA area.
Yeah, these are
We're
the
going to
worst.
try and move Air 7 HD a little closer to this vehicle as it maneuvers through LAX airspace, but we will continue to keep an eye on this.
Wow, the worst type of pursuits that we don't want to see on surface streets, driving erratically like that, and especially this time of day when kids might be out in the street.
Looks like 5 LAPD units are continuing to keep a close distance, or at least keep a good distance on this vehicle to keep an eye on where he is, but not stay too close behind him to put any extra pressure on this vehicle. We are learning some additional information now that this is a reported stolen vehicle, so that makes it a little difficult for LAPD to figure out exactly who might be driving this vehicle, and that might be why LAPD is keeping a close eye on this and making sure they don't lose eyes on him without putting too much pressure on the driver. Now as we go eastbound on 105th Street. Now on the right side of the road, looks like going westbound on 92nd Street. Some of the roads in this area do provide for a little bit of safer traversing, although at these speeds with this erratic behavior, you can see they're using the center median to drive around traffic. Any of this driving is unsafe at this speed and at this magnitude. Looks like we're making a northbound turn on McKinley, left turn on 91st Street, staying in these residential areas as we go, looks like an eastbound turn on Avalon now, still driving at a high rate of speed and still swerving around other vehicles as these, looks like 3 suspects in a Hyundai continue their joyride through South LA, continuing on 89th Street now, westbound. And LAPD still considering this a tracking mode situation right now. They have their LAPD helicopter overhead, but they're keeping the units on the ground, keeping them at a distance while still following. So they have a lot of units in the area. They have other units that can kind of merge in and start to help out with a apprehension of these suspects. Looks like that vehicle almost got some air there as we continue at a high rate of speed on 88th Street westbound. Coming up on another intersection here. It looks like it's a red light. There's some oncoming traffic there. That suspect very smartly slows down, looking, and makes a right turn there, northbound on Main Street, and we've been on this street before. We're going to see what this suspect does. Hopefully there's not too much traffic on this street that this suspect has to deal with. And we're going to move Air 7 around to see if we can find out where the suspect turns after that. You can see the driver with just one hand on the steering wheel earlier, just going for, you know, afternoon joyride like any other. As we approach some other oncoming traffic there, some cross traffic coming the other way, going westbound on San Pedro Street now. And you can see there's the driver, there's the passenger kind of making some gestures there, making a sharp right turn now on 89th Street. And from the damage to this vehicle, you can see that this driver doesn't care about damaging the vehicle and continuing on, because this vehicle's been in accidents before. We've seen him hit other things, possibly hit other vehicles, and that's something that LAPD, as we run through a stop sign there at 89th and Wadsworth, that's something that LAPD often has to deal with when pulling suspects over or performing traffic stops, is those tinted windows. Now we're making a right turn on Central again, so we're staying on these streets kind of between 85th and 95th, Central, Main, San Pedro, staying on all those general streets. This one looks a little bit of a wider street that this suspect can continue on, but it almost seems to me that this guy's maybe slowing down a little bit, and then just as I say that, he speeds up and continues westbound on Hooper, not really caring about where the lanes are, and a lot of traffic there waiting for the light. We're making a left turn westbound on 96th Street now, and we're just kind of staying in this same general area.
Certainly behaving like they're being pursued, so I think they know something's up and they need to get away, or at least try to.
Yeah, they are still in the mindset of getting away. They're not coming to a complete stop, and they're not giving up. We saw them stuck in that traffic earlier, and they just kind of waited it out, just kind of saw that the officers weren't immediately behind them. and waited for that traffic to move and carry on as we continue on Firth Boulevard, leaving 92nd Street, still at a high rate of speed, still driving dangerously around oncoming traffic and passing other vehicles. And we're hearing from the LAPD unit talking on one of the common air frequencies here that they are working on the assumption that the suspects possibly went inside this building. And as they continue to get ground units on the scene here, we're gathering further information.
Okay.
All right. This is Giovanna Latta joining David here on the desk now. And so we saw all three suspects run out of that vehicle, but only two suspects, we understand, are in that building potentially?
Yeah, David and Giovanna, this is the 2800 block of Willow Street, and you can see their LAPD officers have their weapons drawn on this apartment building there. That is where they believe that these couple of suspects have ran to after this wild pursuit. Let's take a look at some video here and see what this pursuit looked like earlier. We kind of stayed in the South LA area, didn't really go on freeways, but a lot of erratic driving, a lot of driving on the wrong way of the street, a lot of possibly sideswiping other vehicles.
You know, is it just a stolen vehicle? That is always a big question as well. Is that driver is stealing this vehicle the least thing that the driver has done, or is this the worst thing that the driver has done? Those are kind of always the issues. But in this case right now, the speeds have slowed down, but he's actually on streets out here. We're on Glen Oaks, and as far as where he's been going, he's been making a big circle through the valley, and that was also kind of an indication that this driver's not going somewhere. This driver's just making these big loops, and so that he knew he was being followed, and he knew that this vehicle was stolen, and he was just waiting for those lights and sirens. But right now, LAPD, they've really just backed out of this 100%, and if he does jump out, there's a good chance they might try to take this person into custody. But I just got word that Dylan said that there's an LAPD helicopter going to be joining us here in just a moment or two. So there's a possibility they may re-engage the pursuit. Maybe that was also one of the reasons they felt, well, you know what, we don't have one of our helicopters over it. So, it felt that the situation might be a little bit more dangerous. But right now, we're just kind of following this guy driving through the La Tuna Canyon area. And again, as long as he keeps those speeds normal and doesn't do anything erratic, the public is safe, and LAPD's tactics are working. But as it stands right now, Dylan is probably working with the LAPD helicopter. When they get closer, he'll probably guide them in, and then possibly we'll see this system change up. Maybe LAPD will re-engage. But right now, we're just kind of watching a stolen vehicle driving on the roads down there. Now we're making our way into the Shadow Hills area. He's very well aware that we're here. A lot of times I'll say, these suspects don't know that we're here. And like I said, we were having a little scanner issue this morning, so I couldn't hear what they were talking about. But you clearly see that suspect looking up at us every now and then. Appears to be a male, possibly white, but light-skinned for sure. You can see him right there again looking. He's looking right at us. So he knows Skyfox is up here and keeping an eye on what he's doing. Soon LAPD is going to be here as well. So we're going to keep an eye on it. We're going to keep looking at it. My nickname once on the internet still is Sky Snitch, and it seems like this morning I'm living up to my name, and that suspect down there keeping an eye on us. I feel like he should be looking more at the road and little less at us, but right now LAPD, they need to get their helicopter over here and keep an eye on him. If he jumps out, they might be able to get him into custody. Now, LAPD helicopter saw this as well. He actually parked that stolen SUV right there at the gas station, at that 76 gas station, and then got in the back seat of this vehicle right here. Now we got back onto the freeway. We're going to be eastbound on the Pasadena 210, but it does look like we're changing lanes right now, so we might be getting onto the 118. We were able to watch it. LAPD helicopter was above it as well, and right now that black SUV, that suspect that was driving the stolen RAV4, now in the back seat of this vehicle. But is LAPD are they going to pull him over? What are they going to do here? How are they going to handle this? This gets a little difficult. I know it's sad to say that having a stolen vehicle is not that big of a crime anymore as far as law enforcement is concerned. So, they're going to have to put in a lot of resources and a lot of effort. If they pull this vehicle over, they take that person into custody. They're going to have to do prints. They're going to have to do this and that. It's going to be an effort for law enforcement to try to enforce the fact that this person was behind the wheel of a stolen car that he abandoned. He decided to take a little run right here. Where are we? I'm sorry. We should actually put up the map for everybody. And you can see him. He's running underneath the bridge right there. We're at Glen Oaks, and that's going to be the 118, and he ran underneath the bridge. You saw the LAPD helicopter just flew through the shot as well, but we'll keep an eye on it. Maybe he's going to meet another friend, and this time we won't be able to see that rope-a-dope swap. But again, this suspect keeping law enforcement and Skyfox on our toes this morning. Law enforcement, the only is going to be the LAPD helicopter. There he is. I got him. Relax, everybody. I got him. But I love the help. You guys don't know on television on the other end of this screen is everybody's yelling in the studio like where this person is in my ear, which is fantastic. I love it. But you can see him there going for a little jog this morning, and LAPD the helicopters got him as well. But we're going to keep an eye on him just to see where all this kind of ends up. But again, this suspect making a large effort to evade officers from his stolen vehicle. Yellow car in the yard. That one? White steel fence. Oh, there he is. I went too far. Okay, so he's running again. And you know what? This actually makes me feel better because, like I said, you had that innocent family right there. I saw somebody out there by one of the vehicles. I just didn't want to see him try to carjack or hurt somebody. But right now, making his way back out towards the major street. And again, thank you for everybody for helping me out. Like I said, I need more coffee. I know it's Friday, but it's been a rough start for me, kids. This is Pacoima. We're coming up onto Paxton and Glen Oaks. I believe we just made the little turn onto Glen Oaks right there. But this guy really starting to jog more and more and more. Skyfox Dylan is on it this morning. He sees that we might start losing him behind buildings, and that's what he's doing to move Skyfox just to see if he runs around that corner. But again, the LAPD is getting closer. They're there. They're basically saying, sir, could you please just... And I'm sure he's exhausted. He's probably kind of like, thank goodness I get to take a little bit of a break. There you go. LAPD officers taking him into custody. And again, law enforcement getting that guy that stole that vehicle. They use tech, and they have friends that are going to help them out. But right now, this is what's going on. LAPD, they're also aware of it. But this vehicle driving much safer. So the driver behind the wheel at least is obeying the laws this morning. But again, it was a good effort, I would venture to say, by that suspect, but not good enough. We were able to watch it. LAPD helicopter was above it as well. And right now, that black SUV, that suspect that was driving the stolen RAV4, now in the back seat of this vehicle. But is LAPD are they going to pull him over? What are they going to do here? How are they going to handle this? This gets a little difficult. I know it's sad to say that having a stolen vehicle is not that big of a crime anymore as far as law enforcement is concerned. So, they're going to have to put in a lot of resources and a lot of effort. If they pull this vehicle over, they take that person into custody. They're going to have to do prints. They're going to have to do this and that. It's going to be an effort for law enforcement to try to enforce the fact that this person was behind the wheel of a stolen car that he abandoned. And again, is that the only thing he did? That's kind of the big question. Maybe they'll get that person and run his name and then find out he's out. He's out again. He decided to take a little run right here. Where are we? I'm sorry. We should actually put up the map for everybody. Yeah. And you can see him. He's running underneath the bridge right there. We're at Glen Oaks, and that's going to be the 118, and he ran underneath the bridge. You saw the LAPD helicopter just flew through the shot as well. He's probably kind of like, thank goodness I get to take a little bit of a break. There you go. LAPD officers taking him into custody. And again, law enforcement getting that guy that stole that vehicle. He's in the custody right now. LAPD doing their job. And what a bunch of resources to get this guy into custody. But again, keeping the public safe, that is the job, and that is what they're doing. And this morning they got that suspect, and and nobody was hurt, and no property damage as well.
That is certainly good news. And that friend of his or buddy, whoever that person was that picked him up and he was able to switch cars, that person is also going to have to face some charges as well. So what a morning. All right, 6-4.
126, Morgan plate when ready.
At South 192 and 124th, they've gotten out of the car, bailing, and it looks like they're trying to carjack another car, a red Ford Explorer.
Round 1.
Confirming that's a red Explorer at 192 and 124th.
Guardian 1 affirmative, eastbound, 192nd.
Copy, eastbound 192nd, now in the red Explorer. I'm behind the Escalade. The Escalade's mobile too. Spikes at 252 and 132. The front lane, continuing, he's maintaining control. Traffic is yielding, maintaining speed at 90. Coming up on 240th here pretty soon. Copy, approaching 240th, you've got spikes at 252. One and oncoming to pass a slower moving vehicle. Traffic is yielding. Speed still 75.
Guardian 1 southeast. Yeah, just so you know, we're following a pursuit. Suspects committed 2 carjackings so far since we've been following this guy.
Still holding control. Speed's down to 65.
We're with the victim at 140th and 192nd. There is PC for the carjackings. The weapon was a wrench.
Southbound, 148th. Copy, southbound 148th, there's PC for carjacking. Copy, northbound Peterborough Road.
Guardian 1, it's like a blue Subaru wagon, we believe.
He's turned onto 184th southeast.
That's using the third vehicle of many at this point. So the one he's currently in that we're pursuing is a blue Subaru. He's originally in an Escalade and then carjacked a red Explorer.
Coming to Lake Youngs Road and going eastbound on Lake Youngs Road. Passing cars in the oncoming lanes through curves, still eastbound. Northbound on southeast, or 196 Ave southeast from southeast Lake Youngs. Went into oncoming lanes to turn.
Copy, westbound on Petro.
Eastbound on Petro.
Do we have any units remotely close? If not, we can just start blocking off intersections and see if he'll come through and get spikes.
Yeah, 25, I'm pretty close. 240th, I'm 196.
Just give us going northbound on 180.
He's eastbound Petrovitsky, passing cars in the oncoming lanes.
About 200th and 148.
5T97, copy with the Escalade, 200th and 148th.
Suspect still eastbound Petrovitsky, passing 220th.
The other units can just hover in the area and lay spikes. He circles back around. Guardian 1 can continue to follow.
5 King 31 to Guardian 1. We have unmarked detectives coming out in surveillance cars. If you can stay on him, we can latch on once we get out there.
Guardian 1 just had a traffic collision at Petrovitsky and 231st. So far, still hasn't gotten out of the car. We got some county units on it.
So the female from the Escalade ran to a yard back here off 148 and 200.
Was that where she hit the Escalade? What was the address on that?
5K97. The female slowly ran west, sort of southwest through here. White female, dark long hair, black pants, black jacket.
Hey, Guardian 1, they got him in custody here.